Let's move on to the other side of the ball here, and with the Rams, and obviously Matthew Stafford played in Detroit for so long. He left a loser franchise, went over to the Rams, and year one he's in the Super Bowl. What do you think this means for Matthew Stafford's career?
I mean, I thought it was a Hall of Famer before, the Super Bowl appearance here, but I feel like if he wins the Super Bowl, he's instantly a Hall of Famer. I mean, let's be honest. Like, if Eli Manning's going to be a Hall of Famer with two Super Bowl
Gotcha.
rings, spare me. Matthew Stafford is a instant Hall of Famer, potentially first ballot Hall of Famer with the Super Bowl championship under his belt. And and good for him. We saw what he was when he came out of the University of Georgia as the first overall pick, first rounder. And we saw what he could have done with Megatron, with Calvin Johnson, and Johnson retired early. And personally, I don't blame him because his body took a freaking beating with the Lions, but. His career was squandered. Like, those are the years, the lost years, in my opinion. Like, what could have happened if he was on a more competent team to make a couple of playoff runs? So I think to cement his legacy as, one of the top quarterbacks in the NFL and NFL history. I'm not saying like top 10, top 5, but definitely top 25, in my opinion, just based on his toughness and everything. We saw the throw he made to have a game-winning touchdown with essentially a separated shoulder. Like, you can't question that guy's toughness. So I think, instant Hall of Fame status is on the line for Matthew Stafford.
Yeah, I think you're spot on right. That's part of my notes here as well. This puts him on that Hall of Fame trajectory. Basically, if he wins it, he's in. I mean, simple as that, right? I mean, this basically validates everything we always say about the NFL. We always talk about parity. We always talk about, there's always hope for any team. And you saw it this year a little bit with the Bengals where they were able to turn it around so quickly. But this man spent so many years in Detroit, just going through the grind and just like being beaten down. And even with all those years with Calvin Johnson, he had those great numbers, but he never got the title. But if he got this, man, it validates everything for him, and it puts him into the Hall of Fame. Now, the other person I want to hit on as well is OBJ. I think what's going to happen with OBJ is going to be really interesting if he wins the Super Bowl, right? Because OBJ gets a very bad rap. I understand he has his antics, and I know a lot of people used OBJ as the punching bag for justifying Baker Mayfield's bad performance, right? A lot of people in the media did that, right?
Hell, I did it, Jay. I'll cop to it. I did it too.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly, right? And now we see that OBJ has left Cleveland, went to LA. He's playing really well. And sure, he's not the old OBJ that's going to go out there and run a blazing, 40 and catch a ball out of the air. He has slowed down just a little bit, but it's not a lot. I mean, now we're talking like a big diminish in skill set, right? So I think he's proven himself. And I think the real question we need to ask is, what happens after this year? Because he is a free agent, right? Does he get paid? Does another team look at him? Is he going to be a high-priced free agent? I know, Bill Belichick had this affinity for him, and there seem to be some storylines coming out that he was very close signing with New England. Does New England make a run at him? All of this is on the table for him to kind of reset his career. This is a massive, massive win already for OBJ, and truthfully, I mean, even if he wins or loses, it doesn't really matter. He's kind of reestablished himself as a good, wide receiver that somebody should be paying a lot of money to. But I am interested to see where he ends up next year. Is he going to stick in LA? And if I'm him, I stick in LA. I stick in what's working right now. Matthew Stafford and him have a good rapport. More time in the offense next year will give him more opportunities. He loves LA. He's fit for the market. He's perfect for being out there. I mean, this is one of the few wide receivers that got a $5 million Nike contract. I mean, that's usually reserved for quarterback, right? Quarterback money is usually $5 million from Nike. So if I'm him, I know people are going to come calling, but I would take a little bit of a discount, and I would stay in LA. If I somehow make that happen, I'd do it.
Right, I'm right there with you. I feel like regardless of the outcome, just given the narrative that was surrounding Odell, and again, I'll cop to it. I've been on this pod saying that the offense for Cleveland was running better when Odell wasn't in the lineup, and we saw what that looked like this year. Granted, Baker was beat to crap, but Baker, even before he got hurt, was playing bad. So, that aside, I think he's going to get a big old, blank check from whatever team in free agency, I don't think New England's going to be calling, because the other part of that interview with Odell, when he said he was close to signing with the Pats, it was kind of, to me, I took that as he didn't want to really deal with a rookie quarterback. You know what I'm saying? Like, if Tom Brady was still
a quarterback that could only throw 5 yards and not get your ball deep downfield. How about that?
My bad. Correction. You're right. But if Tom Brady was still in Foxborough, he would have been a New England Patriot, every day and twice on Sunday. But I'm with you, Jay. I think it would behoove him to take a pay cut to stay with the LA Rams. But you also have to think, too, like, the Rams are up against the cap. Like, Cooper Kupp is going to get paid, too. Like, they're not going to let Cooper Kupp just walk out the door, especially with all that draft capital they gave up to get Stafford as their quarterback. I mean, who's going to be the odd man out? Like, are they going to let Robert Woods walk? Like, would you let Robert Woods walk? Like, I don't know, but either way, I think he is definitely going to get paid. For sure. If he sticks with the Rams, he is going to have to take a hometown discount. But we've all seen what Les Snead can do with draft picks and salary cap issues. You can massage the cap to make it work. So that's definitely going to be fun to see from the front office.
Well, that's a really good, interesting question, Puma, because while you asked that question, who do you let walk, Robert Woods and OBJ? Because that's what's going to come down to. I think you let Robert Woods walk.
I think you let Robert Woods walk too.
Because now both of them have an ACL injury, so that's fine. Both of them are 29. Did you know that? I thought Robert Woods was younger than that. I thought Robert was like 25 years old. And immediately I was like, all right, well, you're going to have to keep the younger guy over OBJ. Turns out they're the same age. So if that's the case, why not go with OBJ, who seems to be just at the tip of the iceberg of what he can do in the system once he has a full offseason and learns everything about the system?
Right, and if you really want to get nitpicky, okay, Odell I think has a little bit more of a air quote longer injury history with the quad and stuff, but again, that's really getting nitpicky down to it. But I'm with you. I feel like they would more than likely let Robert Woods walk, especially because I think they would end up getting a comp pick in the comp the comp pick equation that nobody knows how it works except for the people at Park Avenue and the NFL office. But I think that's kind of in the benefit of the LA Rams as well too.